Oh, nope, I had my mic muted. Hey, I hope you guys dug that intro. Um, it's going to be a great show. We're going to be getting to it in just a second. Obviously, this isn't the show I have open right now. It is the forum. We're waiting on that. Dean had to go visit the restroom real fast. Intro was pretty cool. I dug it. All right. Looks like we're ready. All right. I think I do this at 125%. That should do it. All right, guys. It is time. We're going to hit the long night. It is going down. This is the show. This is what we're all here for. This is the third pay-per-view extravaganza of the Apocalypse storyline. We've got a slew of matches here. You can see them over to your under me with our list of matches. There are a ton of matches. I hope there are no misspellings in there, but this just gives you the card. So let's go down and see how this shindig is going to open up. We're going to open up with two very cool characters. That is Edward Newton on the left, Mike Lane on the right. Segment is entitled The Book of the Damned 1, which if you followed the last VHS, you may know that this, or you may have known that this may be coming. So let's get this up here. I think, nope, it was one, whatever the next thing up is on my percent zoom. All right, so The Book of the Damned taking place backstage. All fits on one screen very nicely. We've got Edward Newton hanging out in the dark, flicking through the pages of the Book of the Damned. We've seen him use it with great effect over the last couple months. But somebody needs that book, and he sees good old Mike Lane, the Shadow himself. Lux Bellator has truly gotten into the mind of the Shadow, it appears. Edward Newton has dark eyes. That doesn't bode very well. This segment written by Dean as well, so credit to him for that. There's going to be a fight between these two. Lane wants the book. Newton isn't going to give it up. Now that is a hot start. I imagine we're going to see a little bit of a battle between these two throughout the night. But is that not just exactly what Lux Bellator and Proteus want to see? Very, very nice. So, just to recap a little bit, Lux Bellator has been exposing, well, not exposing, more or less digging deep on Mike Lane, making him relive his past sins, namely the death of his former fiancée, Destiny, which was a pretty brutal deal. Edward Newton has this Book of the Damned. Lux Bellator says the only way Mike Lane is going to know how to be saved from his sin is through this book. So the Shadow has went to find it. And yes, good call in the chat, Zach. That was the first and only, I think, up to this point, kind of choose your own adventure segment. To have who died, Destiny or Mike and Destiny's child. And you guys chose wisely not to kill the baby. Very, very neat. Looks like everybody is here, and that does remind me. I need to move my viewer thing here. Okay. All right, let's see what's next. Ooh, we have got, and the names are cut off on here. I apologize for that part, but we've got Alabister Monteblue versus Christian Rivers. I think I said that right. Some neat looking new characters. Let's see what goes down with them. Let's get the opening of this here on the screen. Rivers seems to be something of a old school gangster type looking fellow carrying his 45s. Then, of course, we've got Monteblue. These two square off. Kind of going at it. And apparently Rivers is a detective. I'm sorry, not a gangster. That would kind of be the opposite. Quick start here. Rear naked choke. We're seeing a submission offense from the beginning here from Monty, which I'm just going to go for that for calling him. Rivers isn't going to tap out, though. He rolls through, gets a 2 count. These guys are going at it hard. Very fast-paced, great for an opener with two of our new guys. Oh, the detective is Alabister. My bad. Good call, Zach. Maybe I should keep my names appropriate, or keep my names in check. But I guess that makes a lot more sense. Ooh, a spinebuster DDT. I think I visualize how that move would work. Heading up to the top rope, we get a power bomb from Rivers. Ooh, a drop toe hold. One of my favorite moves. Anybody who puts a drop toe hold in the match wins for me. I'm pretty sure at least one of the matches I wrote had one. Let's see. Let's get a little bit longer here. We get a very good arm-raising spot. Once, twice, but no. Rivers wasn't going to go down to that. He's powered out. Going at it with the detective. We get a couple big elbows to the chest. Stalling suplex. A pin. It's a 1. It's a 2. Not happening yet. So Rivers goes back up. Irish whip. Going for that death sentence. That's the finish. But he misses it. It's a curb stomp. Goes back through. Monty gets a Biloxi roll. Oh, and he goes for the Slammer 63. Submission hold locked in. It's a wrist lock maneuver. I believe that was the one that had like a paragraph how it happens in the match writing aid thread. Oh, and he drops down and locks it in. Rivers has no choice but to tap out. Rivers believes his submission style is better in every way, but it wasn't better tonight. Monteblue picks up his first win with a submission of his own. Rivers looks surprised as both men head to the back. But looks like the night is not over for Monteblue. In this segment entitled The Return of Terrible, taking place at ringside. You'll see who this other fellow is in just a moment. Let's get this segment on screen. Jones the Terrible is here, standing atop the entranceway. Monteblue believes he can't be here, that he can't be there. It's not possible. He goes for a weapon, but Jones vanishes. Ooh, sweet. And then Jones is right before him. Very good language there. Bravely and fiercely unafraid. That is a very strong way to put that. This segment is written by Dean as well. A Spartan kick. Haha. Yes, haven't seen one of those since the days of Red River Jack. A clothesline from hell. Oh, great moves. So Jones, the brave and terrible, turns to face his enemy's prone body. Told you that prison couldn't hold me. So Guy was in prison, and now he's going to destroy the detective because Jones has spoken. Now that's pretty badass there. Awesome stuff. So let's see. Jones the Terrible, it looks like, was put in prison, or at least in some part due to the detective Monteblue's actions. And now he's out, and he's coming for him. Let's see what goes down next. All right. Looks like we're going to see a match next. We've got Jonathan Hartsford, the aerial knight, on the left. Sergei Sokolov, the Russian Terminator, on the right. Russian Terminator is a big dude. Jonathan Hartsford is formerly known as Doubt. He's just gotten himself free of that emotion. But as we see in the intro, Jonathan's finally gotten free of all his doubts, but he finds a bear of a man in close pursuit. Will the knight prove valiant against his latest demon, or will the might of Russia itself be far too much for him? Hartsford immediately starts out going for a springboard drop kick. Hartsford, this should be a nice mix of styles. Hartsford's a little bit of a flyer, and Sergei is not. The bigger man catches him. We try to see the aerial knight using a momentum-based offense, but Sergei ain't having none of it. A choke slam backbreaker. Pretty brilliant move named Warhead. Nearly snaps Jonathan in half. But Sergei doesn't want the cover. He's going to keep up the assault. We see a press slam to the outside. I love a good press slam. That's another thing that's always going to make me happy to see in a match. Let's see. Throws him out to the floor below. The Russian Tsar going for it, but Jonathan nails a desperation uppercut. Thus far, it looks like anything Hartsford is doing is not really having much of an effect on his opponent. But an STO into the guardrail does do something. Sokolov is dazed and possibly out. Hartsford goes Sabu style with the Arabian press, but he hits the guardrail, also Sabu style. We get a toss into the ring. We get a 1, a 2. Nope. Hartsford gets the shoulder up. He's still fighting. There's more in him than just this. Let's get a little bit more here on the screen. A ring-shaking power slam. Sergei is just taking Hartsford to school. But then he grabs a small package. Barely a 2 count. The aerial knight staying in it. Massive right from Sergei, knocks Hartsford for a loop. He ducks a move, nails an enziguri. Ooh. The aerial knight tries to go up top, but Sergei ain't having none of it. He nails the top rope, or from the top rope, from Russia with love, the super Samboplex, or Samboplex, I probably mispronounced that. And this has to be it as Sergei grabs a cover. We get 1. We get 2. Oh no, Hartsford kicks out. That's a lot of heart from the aerial knight here. Sergey is not having any of it. He calls for the end. Nails a Soviet strike back fist. Lifts him up on his shoulders to go for one of his signature moves, but Hartsford slips out. Nails in a heartbeat the swinging fireman's carry. 1, 2, 3. The aerial knight. He has done it. He fought through the pain and suffering and proved that a hero's heart is far stronger than any one man could ever hope to be. I am not sure who wrote this. It looks like Zach may have by scrolling up. Good work, Zach. And looks like we're going to get a follow-up segment immediately entitled Clarity. Still with Hartsford and Sergey. The tables have turned. Instead of Sergey being the hunter, he is now the hunted. Hartsford is going after him. The infection threatens to overtake the Tsar, but Hartsford saves him. Sergey still doesn't like that. They're still fighting. Hartsford doesn't seem to want to take this life. He says he won't give in. He's not a monster. He's a man. Huge moment for the former tentacle monster that was Doubt. Tells Sergey it's time to wake up. It's time to shed some light. And he just knocks out the Red Tsar. Hartsford sees him for what he is. A man imprisoned by forces beyond his control. He's freed him. He can leave before he gets consumed. But the woman in his ear wants to know if he copies. And we get a cut. Because we don't get to know what Sergey is going to do just yet. All right. Great stuff here with Hartsford and Sergey. We're going to see a singles match here with Devon Chambers and Michael Graves. This match will presumably have credits for it in the chat shortly. Preemptive props to whoever wrote it. Let's get some of this here on the screen. I may mispronounce some of this, some of the things to do with Michael Graves. I think it's Chiroptera, but it's probably wrong. That's probably the only time I'll actually say that term. He stands in the ring. The Chiroptera, there we go again, get on their knees and bows, praising Devon Chambers. What? Did they betray Michael Graves for the Preacher Man? Oh yes, and the Hartsford Sergey crediment segment can be credited to Alex. Good work on that segment. Great storyline. So this match here, Chambers nails Graves from behind, while his, I'm just going to say minions, seem to be praising his enemy. The duo go at it pretty hard, throwing some frantic kicks and stomps. This whole match seems like it's going to have the Chiroptera out there. Or Chiroptera. I'm just going to go with what I said, and it's probably wrong. Sorry, Pat. Ooh, a German suplex into the bottom turnbuckle. Ooh, that'll give somebody a concussion. Both of these guys seem to have their eyes on the people around them, or the minions. I don't know if you can call them people. Ooh, a cannonball splash from Graves to Chambers. We get a pinfall attempt. Only a 2 count. Chambers kicks out at 2. Ooh, a backstabber. I don't think we have enough. We have a million code breakers in the Fed, but I don't think we have enough backstabbers. That only gets a 2 count. They go at each other. Graves ducks a punch, nails the Red Death, which is a Snapdragon suplex. Pretty awesome offense here from Graves. Let's get some more here on the screen. That only grabs a 2 count. An eye rake from Chambers. The Preacher Man is maybe feeling a little desperate after some big moves put on him. But Chambers seems to think he's got it with the patented Pastor's Plunge, the Triple P. He aims a kick at Graves, but Graves disappears, and a flurry of bats swarm Devon Chambers. Chambers can't really get his arms around the birds that are coming, but Graves now is behind Chambers. And he goes for the Dawnbreaker, but no. Chambers was ready with a back body drop reversal. These guys are going hard. I think I've said that too many times already, and we're just on the second match, or third match. The Impaler DDT is pushed away. Oh, and we get the Psalm 32, the running power slam. And it gets a 1, a 2, but no. Graves ain't being finished by Psalm 32. Chambers is very upset. What's it going to take to beat this guy? He's already gotten swarmed by bats. They go full bore back at each other. Hard rights. Graves grabs the underhook, but he doesn't lock it in. Low blow, Shinsuke style. Excuse me. Chambers grabs Graves, picks him up with the spinning razor's edge, the Pastor's Plunge. And that's a 1, that's a 2, and that's a 3. Devon Chambers picking up the victory in a very hard-fought contest. And it looks like we're going to get a segment with these two to follow it up. It is called Into the Tomb. And as both men are starting to revive from the match, they hear rumbling, tremors. The tap room begins to quake at its foundations. The Bishop and the Bat Shadow stumble about the ring as the chanting Chiroptera seem to increase their worship of the Barbatos. Devon proclaims it ends here. But the prophet of the Bat God says that Chambers is not the Bat God. Chambers responds, when they see you, they see Christ. Because the virus, as Graves says, consumes their minds. Chambers wants to cleanse their perception. Quoting a little bit of scripture. If your right eye causes you to stumble, pluck it out and throw it away from you. They are ready to take on the Chiroptera around them, it looks like. But we get a voice. It is you who will be plucked. Because the Bat God's vessel Graves... Oh! They fight. He nails Dawnbreaker. Chambers is out, and we hear the chant that they're all hailing Barbatos. The Druids chant. His rage grows even as the tremors begin to settle. He yells that is not Barbatos. It is a miscreant, a fraud. But Graves is back up. The pastoral plunge gets hit. Chambers says the tap room isn't big enough for two saviors. It's time for him to go into the tomb. And we get a snap It doesn't mean good things in OSW. Michael Graves' lifeless body falls to the canvas. Devon Chambers has killed him. But Chambers is a little guilty as they continue to chant. Michael Graves is gone. It looks like Devon Chambers is their god now. This was written by Mr. Kirsch. And yes, first death of the evening. We've got another match coming up. Phoebe Outlaw versus James Hunter in a singles matchup. This one was written by me. A lot of history behind this one that probably doesn't have time to be recapped. But just to sum it up, James Hunter's return to OSW is a long absence because it turns out, due to a variety of factors which may come into play in other storylines, that his attempt to kill Phoebe Outlaw way back in the summer of 2016 wasn't actually successful. He's back, and he wants to kill her. And she wants to kill him because she feels that he caused everything going on in her life right now. Either way, this match starts off hot. They go at each other instantly, exchanging blows with one another. They exchange bulldog attempts, but Hunter actually hits it. Hunter outweighs Outlaw by quite a bit, being a pretty big, impressive dude. But Phoebe is a little bit of a spitfire. She nails the Hangman's neck breaker. She calls that the Northern Exposure. And she grabs Hunter's arm to go for the Anaconda Vice, which is her finish, actually. But Hunter gets out of it, gets to his feet, gets dropped by a drop kick. He ducks to the floor to regroup, but Outlaw isn't done. She goes for a moonsault off the top rope, or the second rope, I guess, over to Hunter outside, but Hunter moves. She also saboos and gets nothing but concrete. The Question and the Outlaw go at it here once again. The Question putting her back into the ring. Outlaw trying to fight with a leg lock once again, but the Question gets free from that. They exchange some moves here. We'll leave that on there. And Outlaw just kind of goes crazy. She just takes him, bounces his head off the mat over and over until he is bleeding. You get a nice... thank you for the follow, Monte Blue. I think I pronounced your name right during your match earlier. Hope so. So the Question is bleeding. Outlaw locks in the triangle choke. We get another raised arm spot, but Hunter's still in it. He's not gonna go down. He's got a mission to finish. Outlaw has taken it to James Hunter with everything she has. But all it takes from the bigger man is a power bomb to get right back in the offensive. And he gets a 1 count, a 2 count, but Phoebe Outlaw isn't done. She's motivated. She has all the reason in the world to see this through. They go right back at it, but Hunter is starting to take a little bit more advantage. He may have been on the defensive, but Outlaw has been running hot the whole time. Nails a backbreaker, almost breaks her in half. Goes for a reverse DDT, but Outlaw impressively kicks her leg up, kneeing Hunter in the face, and then backflips out of the reverse DDT. She was an Olympian, folks. But she nails a super kick, the first of many we're going to see tonight. But Hunter caught it. He catches it, and slams her knee into the mat and then locks on a single leg Boston Crab. Got some submission wrestling going on here. Let's see. Let's get a little bit more out here. Outlaw taunts Hunter, making him release the hold, so he slams the mat a few times out of anger. He wasn't expecting this kind of fire. He drops a leg on her and keeps doing it, taking the advantage, leaving her down. Hooks both of her arms in the powerbomb position for his underhook move, the Poetic Justice. But no, Phoebe fights out in midair. She goes for the North by Northwest, the Code Breaker. That's, I think, our second one of the night. But no. We've got a lot of stuff here. Hunter lets her fall to the mat. He locks in the Anaconda Vice. He's using Phoebe's own move. He calls that the hypocrite when he steals someone's move. She fights for the ropes with everything she's got. But she's in the middle of the ring. There's nothing she can do. And Phoebe Outlaw taps out to the hypocrite Northern Cross. She gave it everything she had, but James Hunter was too strong, too motivated to win. But even as the bell fades, we can see this issue is still unresolved. This was about more than just a match, as we're about to see. This segment is entitled True Outlaw, also with Phoebe and James Hunter, written by me as well. And as it starts, the match may be over, but the issue hasn't been settled. As we've seen a couple times this week, a black cloud of the masked agents of Anonymous stormed to flood the ringside area. But James Hunter isn't going to let them do anything to Phoebe. This is a personal matter. But Outlaw knocks the question over the top rope into the sea of Anonymous representatives. And she tells him that they're going to end this. And James Hunter, curiously enough for just winning the match, retreats up the aisle as Phoebe taunts him. I thought you were going to end me, or was that just another one of your empty boasts? Hunter dives through a dark doorway, and Phoebe rushes after him. But as she does, as she runs through a set of metal double doors, she gets almost decapitated with the signature James Hunter axe. And he has death in his eyes as he looms up. But she's not done. She goes for a shot at him. But Hunter uses the handle of the axe to bash her square in the face. She spits out some blood, maybe even a tooth. She's not mad anymore, and he's very satisfied. And he responds the only way he can, that he thought she would fight a little more. She spits at him and tells him, "You come at the queen, you best not miss." After he told her just a couple weeks ago, "You come at the king, you best not miss." But he raises his axe. She says, "Do it." And he does it, and all we see is red. And then the image of James Hunter walking away with his axe over his shoulder. His job's done. Phoebe Outlaw is dead. It's time for him to go back home. That's two deaths. This storyline was all about James Hunter coming back to finish Phoebe Outlaw off, and he did. Let's see what's next. Moving on, we're going to go to one person who's already dead and one inhuman creature that can't be killed. So I don't think we're going to see a death in this match. We've got the match between Scarecrow on the left and Helios on the right. This is two monsters facing off. The Hayman against the one thing that can harm him, and that is fire. Scarecrow. Scarecrow's nerdy brother. I like that. There's a gimmick ID. Idea. Why can't I talk today? So these guys, Scarecrow's a house of fire to start, no pun intended. Helios has brought it to him, trying to play mental mind games with the master of them. But Scarecrow is bringing the actual fight here to his nemesis. The former L.H. Harrison, the former Hysteria that we talked about in the pre-show. Scarecrow tries to hit the bye-bye birdie, but he gets a flaming kick to the chest with a burn print on his chest. It probably messed up his logo, that badass logo on his chest. The eruption from Helios, which is a blockbuster over the tops and to the concrete below. Badass. But even after he turns around, he walks right into the haymaker from Scarecrow. And he power slams him onto the apron. These two, this is truly a war between two inhuman monsters. He goes for the perch. The lights go out. But fire turns on. Scarecrow doesn't get to finish. Helios turns into a bottle of flames and slips in front of Scarecrow. The Hellfire Codebreaker. That's 3. And he gets a cover off of it. 1, 2. Kick out. Kick out from Scarecrow. The lights are all the way back on, but the Scarecrow has sat up. He's not going to be killed that easily, or defeated that easily. He's not going to be killed. Helios plays possum, nails a leg sweep, and throws a flurry of flaming fists. Helios is using those fire powers to his advantage here. This is just a brutal match. And as they're still going at it, the Hayman's trying to defend himself, and the lights go out again. Helios gets up, but Scarecrow's behind him. He nails bye-bye birdie. He gets a 1, a 2, and a 3. No! That was a kick out. A kick out by Helios. Our fire revenant barely gets his shoulder up in time. He rolls away and tries to make a little bit of distance as the Hayman gets to his feet. Scarecrow advances. The two trade blows. Helios takes the advantage and lights himself ablaze as he hits the no-hope spear. The no-hope spear. Scarecrow goes down. It sends him to the ground. And Helios takes a cover from the fiery spear. 1, 2, 3. Helios has done it. He has done it. The Revenant is beaten bad. He rolls to his knees and he doesn't notice as Scarecrow rises up behind him. And it looks like we get the immediate follow-up. This segment is entitled Of Darkness. With these guys. Big win for Helios over the former... Well, I guess they're both former world champions here. Although I guess you could say Helios was in a different life a world champion. Dawson with the next segment of Darkness. Scarecrow looms over Helios and asks him why. Crow tries to crush his throat. rightfully asks why he's tried to kill him. But Helios wraps his hand around Scarecrow's arm. And starts using his flame powers again. And Scarecrow, as he said before to many, you will not escape me. And he pulls Helios' hand from his arm. Helios says it's obvious. And Helios says that when darkness fell and the night grew long, only one creature could thrive. Scarecrow was born out of darkness, and Helios is the torch that was meant to light the way and bring you to your knees, but you refuse to go down. And Helios turns to flames and heads up to the entrance to the tap room. You survived me, Scarecrow, but though you still stand, you will never be able to stop the inevitable. Soon the whole world will go dark. Helios disappears in a spout of fire, Scarecrow merely looking on as he does. Very, very good segment here, Dawson. Very good way to wrap it up with everything that went on with these two, where it's kind of been ambiguous as to the full scope of why they were even going at it. Very good. Congrats on the win, or all the winners. I don't think I've done that thus far. Congratulated all the winners. Looks like what we're getting next is going to be a trios match. We have got the Watchman on the left, El Treble Jr., the Sharkman, and Marvelo against the Great War, which is Gaia, the Boogeyman, and Nicholas Mammon. Been a very interesting feud. The Watchmen have increased their profile over the last little bit, and always good to see a trios match. There's something to say about so many different people out there in the ring. All right, so we get Marvelo starting off against Gaia. He gets a nice one-finger taunt, going back to how he is number one. But, of course, his arrogance gets the best of him. Gaia grabs a roll-up that only gets a 2 count. Number one gets his eyes raked as well. Gaia is kind of taking him to school here. She locks in an Anaconda Vice. Marvelo is in the center of the ring, but he rolls her over, and he gets to the ropes. The referee does a count. She releases at 3 and whips him towards her corner. And here comes the Boogeyman, who has been very impressive in recent times. Boogeyman wraps himself through the ropes with his, I don't really know the word for it, we'll call it terrifying way that he can kind of contort himself to do anything. Number one is in dire straits. He's a little bit in peril here as Boogeyman starts to unload on him with a float over DDT. Locks in a sleeper. But Marvelo flips and lands on top of the Boogeyman. And he goes for the corner, but the Boogeyman isn't having it. Get to their feet. Boogeyman brings in Nicholas Mammon. By the way, I'm going to do a brief interlude to say, I don't know if this is a thing and I just haven't noticed it, but I really like the emphasized tag in these matches. I think that's, if you're not already doing that in tag matches, you should do it. It's a good way to show that. Either way, El Treble Jr. comes in. Hits Mis Hoyas, the running headbutt into the crotch of Nicholas Mammon. Treble's on fire, so Guy and the Boogeyman run in. The Watchmen run into the ring. It's a Pier 6 brawl, chaos in the ring as they all go at it. They all go at it. Mammon and Treble are still the legals, I believe. The opposing team, the Great War, ends up on the outside. The Watchmen They've got a little something they can do here. Marvelo is not confident. He is not much of a flyer. The shark dive onto Gaia. The mushroom stomp onto Mammon. And Marvelo gets pushed off the corner into the ringside area. We've got a little bit of anarchy here. Sharkman heads over the top rope. El Treble charges up to the Boogeyman from behind. But the Boogeyman twists and contorts his body around and hits a big discus lariat. Treble gets knocked into the corner but gets hit with Your Soul to Take, the gory special that's transitioned into a pile driver. Boogeyman drags Mammon across El Treble Jr. and it gets a 1. A 2. That's a long 2 count. 3. The Watchmen have been defeated. Gaia gets back up as she gives the Boogeyman and Nicholas Mammon, a nod as the three begin to celebrate their victory. Very nice here. We've got a segment involving the same 6 entitled The Vines That Bind Us. Very intriguing segment title. Segment written by Dean coming up here. The Watchmen barely get to their feet when vines burst up from within the canvas and they get trapped within the ring, and Gaia steps forward. Says they'll never be strong enough to withstand their power. Because there's only 3 of them, and 3 is not the magic number. The Watchmen were a group of 4 men with unrivaled powers. They're a puzzle missing the final piece. But now she's going to end them before their actual mission begins. Very, very nice. Very nice concept here. But darkness. When the lights return, the Watchmen are gone. Gaia looks around her broken vines. But the Boogeyman hits out of nowhere. He nails Gaia with the pile driver and swivels back to his feet, grimacing with a tilted head. And says that she summoned him, bound her to him. But he's no one's monster. The Watchmen aren't complete, but they were enough to relinquish her bond over the Boogeyman. And thus he removed hers from them. She will not control him any longer. Nice. So the Boogeyman saves the Watchmen, not because he likes them, but because he wanted to get Gaia. Very good twist. I think Gaia and Boogeyman, if they go at it, will be a phenomenal feud, and I'm curious to see who or what will be the 4th person for the Watchmen. But we're going to move on now to a very popular storyline this month. Tam on the left, the Automaton, and Jason Novan on the right. This is the match itself. As with usual in our matches, the 2 competitors go right at each other. Novan is trying to figure out if he can uncorrupt Tam's circuits. They exchange punches. Novan likely utilizing the forces, the power of the Ashla, however it's said. But Tam is not human. He throws Novan out to the floor below with a back body drop. And Tam nails the Superman punch off the apron. But no, Novan dodges it. Tam rolls right back to his feet. Novan nails the bullhammer, darkness within, right to the head. Novan heads up to the top rope and nails a frog splash. No, he doesn't nail it. Tam sits up. Ooh, Novan nails the hard floor of the tap room and screams in pain. Nice. Tam throws Novan into the barricade. Let's get a little bit more on here. But Novan's not done. He made it through a body avalanche, the big splash. But eventually he starts to make a comeback using a leg sweep. He's desperate for this win. He's desperate to stop the automaton. Tam crawls to the ropes to break the hold. The reverse leg lock. And these guys reset here in the center of the ring. Looks like we're about to take it all the way. They got their breath. Tam goes at Novan. Pop-up spot. No, he gets out of it. A kick to the Novan's chest. A gorilla press spine buster. He goes for the mechanical man. Nope. Novan slips out. Stiff elbow to the back of Tam's head. The path to balance. The spine buster into an anaconda vice, which I think is the third one. Tam taps out. Novan has won. He has... No! Tam isn't done. He nails Novan with a low blow. Jason is down and Tam is powering over him. Naturally, we're going to see the conclusion to that. It is entitled a retrieval. Jason Novan has won, but Tam apparently has bad intentions. Because for the past 2 weeks, Novan has escaped the clutches of the automaton's rampage, just barely. But his luck may have run out. Nowhere to go, no escape. And Tam warns him that he has his stolen memory chip. Lethal force may be required. Ooh, he's strangling him. Novan can barely talk. When it cannot make sense of what Novan is saying, he lets him down and asks him to repeat. Novan, if you kill me, you'll never find your chip. Tam's going to kill him anyway. But Novan pulls out the chip. Or part of it. Not the whole thing. Novan lays it down. Tam's predictable. Of course he wouldn't bring the chip with him. It's an element of the gray areas of life. He only had the tracker, not the actual memory chip. Now that the tracker's been removed, he's the only one that knows where it is. Novan leaves and says that he's going to find a way to heal him. And his directive is retrieval. Retrieval of the Tam he knows piece by piece. He's going to beat the virus by Ashla. Of course, he once again reiterates that he himself is infected. And now Tam realizes he needs Novan to get back the memory chip. Hayden wrote this segment. Very nice segment. All right. We've got a segment here entitled Decision Time. We've got Solomon Rhodes on the left, DTR in the middle, Captain Zappa on the right. Very fitting formation. Captain Zappa has been infected by the virus, which, of course, originated with DTR. Solomon Rhodes is trying to save him. DTR is corrupting him. Let's see. I'm presuming this segment is going to have some sort of decision from Captain Zappa about what he is going to do. Great first bit here. Oh, no, this is the segment Hayden wrote. Never mind, because I believe Hayden was writing this. Let's see. Captain Zappa. His eyes, black swirls that almost seem like a galaxy filled with tiny stars on in its universe. Very good. DTR is there. Draped in darkness, they're going to have a little conversation. He welcomes Zappa to the family. Oh, Rhett wrote this segment. Hayden wrote the last one. My bad. I don't know why I thought Hayden wrote this. It doesn't matter. So good job, Hayden. And Rhett, I have a feeling this is going to be a good segment. Let's see. Oh, but Rhodes is there. Taunt him for his lies. The former Dark Warrior now exudes light. On the other side of Captain Zappa, the angel on one shoulder, the devil on the other. DTR says he's failed. That Rhodes has failed Zappa. Zappa's killed one of his men and he'll do it again. Ooh. The choice is not Zappa's. The choice is Solomon Rhodes. Will he choose to put his friend out of his misery, or will he just lock him away again and see how it goes again? But Rhodes takes a step back and pulls out his sword because his choice is clear. DTR dodges a shot with the sword, but Zappa nails Rhodes and grabs the blade. DTR tells him that he's not going to get any answers by doing that. So Zappa leaves. I guess there was no decision. DTR looks down at Rhodes, who's beginning to come to, and says, "Step 4, nearly complete." All right, we're going to follow that up with the match itself between these three, a triple threat match. These guys don't rush in. They circle each other. These guys are all seasoned veterans that all have their own reasons for being out here. Rhodes attacks Zappa first. DTR goes after Rhodes and gets a headlock for his troubles. But Zappa comes right back, kicking Rhodes out of the way. DTR wants Zappa to lay down for him. But Zappa goes down to one knee and gets a Dark Wish, the super kick, flush on Zappa. This is now looking like it's going to be Rhodes and DTR at the moment. They go at each other hard. DTR getting taken down. Rhodes nails the Northern Lights suplex, gets a 2 count. DTR is running away. And Rhodes gets sent to the outside. Zappa's still conflicted in who he should fight. Zappa seems like he's going to cooperate with Rhodes at the moment. DTR is, of course, not happy. Ooh, the hiccup in the Matrix to DTR. Zappa's a house of fire. He's ready to go. He nails DTR with the laughing hyperdrive. He goes for a cover. That's 1. That's 2. But no, Solomon breaks it up. Zappa's pissed. Why did Rhodes do that? Rhodes tries to explain it's every man for himself. Zappa grabs Rhodes with the intergalactic inertia. The running fireman's carry into the corner turnbuckle connects. He nails a lights-out leg drop, but he misses. DTR is rolled out of the way. Zappa is in trouble. He's gone. Double drop kick from Rhodes. And he nails the Red Cross. And he takes the pin. 1, 2, 3. Solomon Rhodes has proven that light can indeed be successful here tonight, despite the longest night being so powerful. We'll have to see how that affects the issue with Zappa, DTR, and Rhodes. Oh man, breaking news, guys. John Cena and Nikki Bella have broken up. They've called off their engagement. The wife decided to send me that. Anyway, next segment is written by Dean. It involves the Scarecrow and Mike Lane, two of the tag team champions, the Founding Fathers. And it is called The Book of the Damned 2. So Mike Lane and Edward Newton, it looks like they fought. But Lane was not on the good end of that. Bleeding from a wound on his forehead. He's got 2 black eyes. Oh no, he was on the good end. He got the Book of the Damned. And he's reading it. Oh, but there's his good buddy the Scarecrow. They haven't gotten along that well, even despite being aligned. And Scarecrow wants to know what the hell he's doing, and if he understands what it is. Lux Bellator told him his salvation was in the book. He's read every page, every spell, every story, every notion, every word. It's the only way, and he's not going to do it alone. There's something Scarecrow has to know. Your creator, meaning Mother, is immortal, but she's not untouchable. There's a way to stop her, and she must be stopped. But Scarecrow has to do it. And Scarecrow says he understands, and understands what Lane has to do. The end begins tonight. Well, that doesn't bode well. Let's see what's next. Ooh, is this the title match? It is. The VHS title match. Creeping Death here on the left, Jake Jekyll on the right. Creeping Death has taken it to Jake Jekyll with all of their history, and he has even killed, most recently, Jake's brother Jack in a very vicious manner. So let's take a look here and see what's going on in this match. And this match picks up. It's not even in the ring. This picks up with what we saw at the end of the last VHS. Jake's still mourning his brother. And he asks why. Ooh, Creeping Death is there. Creeping Death catches the shot. Throws the title down. And headbutts him, bloodying Jekyll. Tosses him through the chair, breaking it into pieces. Ooh. That's a good spot right there. Jake's got pieces of wood embedded in his skin. Oh, but Jake hits him with a plank of wood with a nail right into his cheek. This is what we meant when we said this needs to be a bloody affair. and it's not disappointing. Creeping death oozes black bile, product of the virus. Almost breaks Jake Jekyll's jaw. He may have done it. Knocks out a few teeth at least. And Jake spits blood into Creeping Death's eyes. Oh, and they go right into a brick wall. Creeping Death is smiling under the assault from the Juggalo. This is a Jake Jekyll that is going to fight until the end. Creeping Death catches a shot. Oh, and he crushes the bones in Jake's hand. Oh, brutal. Jake is not in good shape. Oh, Creeping Death nails a brainbuster on the concrete. Jake's in a pool of his own blood. And Creeping Death just grabs the title and goes to walk out. But Jake's still there and says, "I'm not done yet, fuckwad." Jake nails a headbutt. And he throws him through the brick wall. Or he spears him through it, I guess. And Jake is trying to choke Death. Oh, oh man. He uses Jack's head, his severed head, as a weapon. That's pissed off Jake, though. Jake is a house of fire. He's got him mounted lefts and rights. All for Jackie. Floor is covered in black bile. Creeping Death is completely out. And that's the match. Jake has won. He has retained the VHS title. But was it worth it? We've got a segment here. So it's confirmed then. Jake Jekyll will take on Lux Bellator for the VHS Championship at some point in the next 3 weeks. Lux, you may not have been there. Hayden, you may not have been there for that. So, spoiler alert, you won the draw. The segment is entitled Flesh and Blood, still with Creeping Death and Jake Jekyll. Wonderful match. This was written by Dean. I'm sure it's going to be a nice continuation of what we just saw. Creeping Death very rightfully says, "How does it feel to lose the only thing that made you human?" Everybody's deserting them. Going back to their history, Jake wants to know if Creeping Death wants him to apologize for what he did. That he used him. He confided his secret, and Jake exposed it for all the glory. He destroyed careers in Creeping Death's name. He's getting deep to the heart of the issue between Jake Jekyll and Corey Black. Oh, Jake cuts deep. Saying that when all along Creeping Death knows that DTR would rather Jake join the family than Creeping Death. Death tries to get up, but Jake puts him back down. Other way around. They're both down. Creeping Death says it would be easy to end it. But he says that Jake will have his judgment day. Creeping Death backheels the head of Jack Jekyll. Man. Brutal. 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 All right. All right, here we go. Another blood feud with a lot of history. Jacob Phoenix versus Jensen Cussin. The match. This one was written by me as well as the segment that's going to follow it, in case I don't mention it. These two are linked by the blood mark of Phoenix that he's put on Jensen Cussin. It's time to see who's going to come out on top in this matchup. Phoenix, as he's been for this entire feud, is the aggressor. Quick exchange, and Phoenix ends up with a super kick to the back of Cussin's head. An enziguri keeps Jacob on the offensive. But Cussin catches him going for a diving DDT, and he backdrops him over the top rope to the floor. Phoenix tries to get up, but Cussin is there. Jacob gets a neck breaker to gain a little bit of advantage. He goes for another diving DDT off the apron, but Cussin was ready again. The jawbreaker, the hair trigger. He throws Phoenix into the ring and goes for a cover. But it only gets one. Phoenix had his foot on the ropes. Cussin is a little pissed and starts stomping on Phoenix's head, letting his vengeance be felt by the torrential downpour of boot. He locks in the arm trap crossface that he calls desperate justice. But it was ill-planned. Phoenix gets the ropes again. He nails the twisting brainbuster that he calls the guilt trip. 2 count. This has been all Cussin thus far after a few brief flurries at the beginning. Remember, Cussin won their first encounter a month ago. Jensen slaps the Night Watch across the face. But that heats up the flames of the Phoenix. Jacob nails him. They lock up. He attempts a German suplex, but Jacob lands on his feet. Double knee to the face. 1, 2. Jensen kicks out again. Or I guess this is his first pin. Cussin powers out. Phoenix lifts Jensen up, gets a back elbow, a flying knee, a springboard off the ropes. He goes for infinite chaos. But Phoenix was there. He gets the Phoenix forearm. There's not going to be a pinfall off of this one. Both men are down. Jacob doesn't have enough to make the cover. They slowly retreat to their own corner. They charge at each other. Phoenix stops, gets the drop toe hold. I told you I love that move. He takes Cussin down, locks in the cross arm breaker. Cussin manages to get Phoenix into a pinning predicament, which gets a 1, but Phoenix, he kicks out real fast. But that causes Jacob to release the hold. Phoenix ducks a clothesline, but it gets hit with the blunt force trauma, the super kick out of nowhere. It gets 1. It gets 2. It gets 3. Jensen wins again. He has foiled his nemesis once more. But once again, This fight is far from over. Segment involving them, it's entitled Open, picking up right at the end of the match. That was a flash pinfall, but even as they start to come to their knees, they're still fighting. They're still swinging. Cussin taunts him, saying it's all their fault, or it's all his fault. A headbutt. He busts open Phoenix. But that, if you've been paying attention, is not a good thing. Phoenix's blood is not very good for those infected with the virus. But that powers up Jacob once again. The Phoenix mark on his hand, on Cussin's hand, starts to show up. But Cussin powers up, right, a left, a forearm. The whole ring is being covered in Jacob's blood. And every time he strikes with it, Cussin recoils. Phoenix, he's wrong. He played his part. He owes the world. But he's not the one who did it. A headbutt from Phoenix. Jensen goes to his knees, getting a shower of blood as Phoenix towers over him. But as more blood drips down, his hands go to his head. Something's happening to Jensen. And his eyes look up, and they're not the same ones that just fought him. And he asks, weakly, "Finish it. Kill me." But Jacob Phoenix wavers. Jensen asks again, "Please." This is why Jacob Phoenix is even here. This is why he came back. This is why he killed Maximilian. This is everything he said he was going to do. The real Jensen Cussin staring back up at him, begging for death. But he can't do it. Jensen screams, "Do it!" Phoenix grabs him by the neck. Low blow. Phoenix drops down as Jensen slides out of the ring. But Phoenix comes up to a knee, trying to decide what he just saw. Was Jensen toying with him? Was that a ploy? Or was that the true Jensen Cussin breaking free? Consider it as we move on. To the Rewind Championship match. Isaac Danvers on the left. Cale Gable on the right. Wonderful start to the match. Danvers goes immediately for a choke, forcing Gable back into the corner. Gable tries to get out of it, but Danvers too strong. Gable starts kicking at the knee, but Isaac doesn't care. Danvers finally releases it to chop Gable's chest. Brutal assault. Danvers goes for a big boot, but Gable gets out of the way. I think that shows kind of in a nutshell the power of Isaac Danvers. Danvers gets up, or he steps out of the ring without removing his glare. The Olympian goes after Danvers. Gets a little bit of an advantage here. He feeds off the crowd's energy. Babyface on fire. He waits for the mental invader to get to his feet. The gold rush, but no. Danvers once again. Danvers throws him onto the apron. This is at a count of 7. This may be a count out. But Danvers rolls into the ring and back out. Our favorite doctor grabs the steel steps and drags him by the leg towards the steel steps. He puts Gable's head between the two pieces. And Danvers makes the universal symbol for offing somebody. He's going to take the head of Gable as his trophy. He goes for the moon stomp. But Gable moves. He just saved his own neck. Danvers staggers away. Gable gets to his feet, waking himself up. Hits the Gold Rush spear. Danvers on the hard floor outside. Gable hears the count at 5. Gets back in the ring. We get a 7. Danvers is still in pain. 8. The monster begins to stir. We get a 9. Isaac Danvers' gloved hand appears on the apron, but we get 10. No! Danvers made it in just before the count. Very nice count-out spot, whoever wrote this. Gable goes right at it. Going right at him. He goes up to the top rope. He hits the gold standard, the shooting star press. Hooks the leg. 1, 2. No. Danvers got out of it. He pressed him off of him. It didn't even do anything. But Gable's not done. He goes for the European uppercut. Goes for the golden. No. He got the cure. The elbow. It caught Cale Gable in midair. Danvers folds his arms over his chest. Goes for 1, 2, 3. We have a new... No, we don't. We don't have a new champion. Gable had his foot on the ropes. Danvers gets back to his feet. He grabs the Olympic slam. Out of nowhere into the cover. 1, 2, 3. That was it. Cale Gable retains. How? How did he do that? Danvers took it to him. This seg is by Scoot here. It is entitled Come. Gable celebrates. But Danvers is back up. And there's Helios. And there's Proteus. All 3 of them going at him. Danvers hits Gable with a pipe. Gable is busted wide open. But he gets back up. He's still ready to fight. And he has a straitjacket. Danvers points at him. Gable begins shaking. A line of blood is drawn across his forehead. Blood drips down his face as his scalp opens up and peels itself backwards. His skull is exposed, and his brain is revealed. Danvers drops his finger, and Cale drops to the floor. Danvers locks Gable into the straitjacket. And he places his right hand on the mind of Cale Gable. Flings his head backwards and inhales deeply. As he does, a fresh skull grows over the brain of Cale Gable, leaving him bald but otherwise unscathed. And his eyes open black. The mind of Cale Gable is his. Good Lord. That is a creepy, creepy little segment. So Cale Gable has now been converted under the sway of the Plague Doctor. Good Lord. Scoot, you're very descriptive in your writing. It's a little creepy, but I like it. What's next? All right, the hits keep on coming. We have now got Inside the Underworld. Lee Crowley versus Ordell Terminus. Whew. This feud has been building since Red Snow. Let's see what we get here. They're doing battle inside of the underworld. The king of the underworld, the Ring King, Lee Crowley. This is a continuation of what we saw last week. Ordale. Man, I sounded really redneck right there. Ordale yells out before lunging back forward with his shield in hand. Crowley gets knocked back. Oh, he sweeps the leg out. Leg sweep. Terminus is using that shield to block Crowley. And he's a little irritated, Crowley is. Terminus stands tall with his shield. Lee grabs the shield. They tug of war. Oh, but Lee had shock therapy, the spear. Lee grabs the shield and throws it away. Says there's nothing to protect you now. Oh, but sand to the eyes. I love it. I love it. Lee gets blindsided by that. Ordale is all about reclaiming control of the underworld, and he's not going to back down. Lee gets pummeled by Terminus. 10 or 12 straight rights and lefts. But a thumb to the eye gets Lee back a little bit of control. Terminus staggers backwards, clutching at his eye. Lee goes for the Chelsea grin. The spinning heel kick knocks Ordale flat out. Lee rakes at the eyes, punches the face, does whatever he can. Terminus isn't moving after a moment or two, and Crowley disappears to the dark. Lee's got that shield. He brings the edge of the shield down across the chest of Terminus, who moans. Lee thanks him for the little toy. Oh, Lee nails a shield bash. Ordale bashes his head in with it. He's not responding. Red blood begins to pool around his head. After the third or fourth brutal shot, Crowley smiles down at... I suppose that's a win for Crowley. He's back to his feet, throwing the shield away. Terminus has been decimated. Next segment involving same characters. Bow before your king. Somehow, after all of that, Ordale Terminus gets himself up. This is by Dean. And he kneels, bloodied, before the king of the underworld. Wow. Crowley makes it known a mere mortal cannot defeat the king of the underworld. Terminus is clear that he'll be the one to finish it. And he's got a knife. Terminus says he can't kill him. He has Janus on his side. Crowley stabs him straight through the throat. Ordale has been stabbed in the throat. Oh man, Crowley makes it clear. Ordale killed Janus. We saw that the neck snap just like he thought he would. There goes his immortality. Crowley takes the soul of Ordale Terminus and becomes a revenant. Aeon? Master of Time? However you say that. I'll need a fresher on that. That's beautiful. The Master of Time. There's a gimmick I'm happy to see. Man, what a freaking awesome segment. Damn. So I guess that's 3 deaths. And now the side of evil is one more step or one more person stronger. Damn. Whew. And the hits keep coming, folks. Brent Kirsch versus Mother. This is it, Birdie. Tonight, a father out for revenge against the woman who has taken everything from him. Let's see what the hell happens here. Hot out of the gates, the enforcer backs her into the corner, but Mother goes for a sleeper. He grabs the rope, she lets go. A back body drop by Kirsch onto the floor. I feel like at least like 60% of the matches tonight have all had a back body drop to the floor spot. We should really start coordinating this. It doesn't matter. It's cool either way. Flying elbow off the apron onto the down Mother. Mounted headbutts. Brent Kirsch is pissed. She gets a triangle choke. And they're getting counted out. They get back in at the count of 8. Black mist to the face of the ref. He tries to call for the bell, but he gets knocked out. That's an easy way to keep the ref from calling for the DQ. Mother knocks the ref out. But Kirsch takes advantage. Sends her into the barricade. Wild punches. Oh, low blow from Mother to Brent Kirsch. Oh, she rips up the protective mat. Concrete. DDT to the concrete floor. Brent Kirsch busted wide open. Mother is not done. She grabs a chair. Oh, she's going at him with the steel chair. Man, the good guys are getting hammered tonight. Crimson Mask. No ref's there to call it. He has to be done. She goes right after the cut. She can't find a table, though. But Kirsch rolls out of the way. Mother goes through the table. The Southern Discomfort on the concrete. The tombstone. Mother's face is busted wide open. An onyx mask. Badass expression. His eyes are burning with rage. He's choking her out. The ref is starting to get back up. He pulls Kirsch off. She goes for the knee. But he ducks. She hits the ref again. Gets a clothesline to the head. He goes for a suplex, but Mother flips over. Neck breaker on the concrete. A second ref runs into the ring. Hopefully this one doesn't get blasted. Mother gets a cover on Kirsch back in the ring. It gets a 1. A 2. But no, Kirsch isn't done. She locks in the Mother's embrace. He stands up with it still locked in. He runs her backwards into the turnbuckle. He goes up to the top rope with her on his back. And he jumps off. His entire body weight falls on Mother. She finally lets go, but he doesn't go for the cover. Another Southern Discomfort. And he covers. A 1. A 2. 3. He got it. Brent Kirsch with the win. Brent Kirsch gets his revenge. Whew. Great match. But this isn't over with these two. Segment to follow, entitled A Debt Paid, with Brent Kirsch and Mother. Immediately, Mother isn't done. She sends them straight to the hospital. We get a flash of darkness. The two busted open combatants find themselves outside the hospital room holding Danielle, a comatose Danielle. Mother taunts him. But Brent goes right in because the bed is empty. Danielle Kirsch is gone. She is no longer there. Kirsch grabs the picture as if that tells the story of Danielle and Phoebe Outlaw. Because Mother made a mistake, Brent says. She counted out Phoebe Outlaw. She expected Brent to finish her off last month for the blood drive. So Outlaw got most of the whole story. Only death can pay for life is what Mother said. That's what got them in this predicament. Danny sacrificed her life so Phoebe could have hers. Phoebe remembered that. And Mother wonders why she can't touch Brent's son. Why people fight. Why the forces of good endure. It's because of actions like the one Phoebe took. An act of true love, giving their life so someone else can have theirs. Something that Mother quite hasn't figured out how to destroy. She can fight it, prevent it, or pervert it, but she'll never be able to eradicate it. Brent doesn't know where Danielle is. Her instructions were just to run. Mother can't look into Brent's mind from anyone in the hospital's mind. As far as Mother's concerned, she's a ghost. Nicole doesn't have the Kirsch blood, and Mother already can't touch his son. It's Brent or nothing. And Mother's kind have a hard time with Brent Kirsch. But Mother, as always, is on a different level, saying it's so human of him. He believes he always knows the truth, but soon he's going to find out just how wrong he is. And she vanishes, leaving Brent alone with that picture. He has a few words for Phoebe Outlaw. Thanks, kid, you are all right. I'd have been honored to call you daughter. Once again reminding us that Phoebe Outlaw sacrificed herself to James Hunter earlier so that Danielle Kirsch could live. That was the plan that was outlined in the family meeting last week. Hope you guys dug that. As we move on, this segment's by Dean, involving Solomon Rhodes, entitled An Old Mission. This takes place in the Templar Temple. Solomon is pounding through some texts. But Godfrey is there, says you must stop. Zappa is lost. But Rhodes isn't going to leave his brother behind. Godfrey makes it pretty clear. Zappa won't be saved. Not by any of them. The infection's too strong, but only he can fight it. Only he can fight DTR. And I'm afraid that there are other matters to attend to on a global scale. The time has come to take a once-trodden path. You have a new mission. An extremely important one. You must attempt to rescue a different brother. Rhodes doesn't understand, although I think he should at this point. Godfrey sends him to Lux Bellator. Boy, I think they faced each other once or twice. Rhodes tried to save him once before. Tried to stop the whole thing from happening. But Lux succeeded. How can he stop him? But Lux is a child of God. He's misguided and misinformed. Rhodes couldn't stop him then, but he can now. Judgment Day approaches, and you must try once again to make him see the light. It's our only hope. Well, that makes me very happy. I was very much hoping that that may be where we were going. Well, it looks like we're going to get maybe part 5, maybe part 6, I'm not sure, between Lux Bellator and Solomon Rhodes. Very, very epic storyline. All right, but look at this. Woo, the match. Mike Lane versus Lux Bellator. I've been looking forward to this one. I've just got to say, this show has been pretty badass thus far. But I think we're entering into the, maybe even the home stretch. 2 matches left? Am I reading that right? Yes, 2 matches left. All right. So this has been all about the past sin of Mike Lane. Will he succumb? He has gotten the book. He knows what he has to do, but we don't know what that is. The Light Warrior, Lux Bellator, sneaks in from the crowd. But Lane was ready. Mike Lane has already fought Edward Newton, it appeared earlier. But we didn't see it. Oh, excuse me, it happened. Lane nails an early degeneration T-bone suplex. And he goes for the shadow kick. Bellator, he knows a little better. He gets out of the ring. Lux makes him chase him down and takes the advantage with an enziguri. Sends him right into the ring post. He goes after it with a few stiff kicks. The Shadow gets to his feet, trying to shrug it off. But Lux keeps on the attack. Bellator powers him up to his feet. Drops him right shoulder first onto his knee with a shoulder breaker. Goes for a cover, but it only gets a 2 count. But as all the good workers do, it still hurts. Using the shoulder that's injured. He headbutts Bellator, but Lane can't execute the T-bone. Bellator comes off with the head scissors into the single arm DDT. Down into the armbar, the arm of God, right in the middle of the ring. But Mike Lane, he refuses to tap out, pulls himself to the ropes. The break is forced. Bellator is pissed. Sending the Shadow back down to his knees, taunting him as he read the book. But Lane slips out of the Catholic cross. Lux turns around, gets hit with rolling in the fast lane. Lux is still on his feet. Another the first degeneration. Shadow begs him to get to his feet. Goes for a shadow kick. But Lux ducks under. Ooh, Catholic cross right on the injured shoulder. Lux hits the springboard again, hits the arm of God. He has it locked in. Mike Lane reaches for the ropes. He can't make it. He can't. He taps out. He couldn't do it. Mike Lane couldn't do it. He tapped out to the arm of God. Bellator tells him, go read your book and submit to me. Congrats, Hayden. Big win. And yes, I see in the chat, Dean did create rolling in the fast lane. It did fit at the time. That may be the first time Mike Lane has tapped out, or at least one of the very few times. Oh, Lux Bellator. Always whooping my ass. All right. Oh, by Dean the Chief. The segment entitled No. All right, let's catch back up with the Chief, who's in darkness. Oh. In his coma, he's no longer disheveled. His eyes aren't bloodshot anymore, and his clothes are pristine. He's defiant again. Maybe he's turning back into the Chief of old. Noah is a little surprised. Says he looks different. He looks better. The Chief smiles. He's not going to be broken. He wants out. He wants to take his rightful place among the damned. But Noah's pissed. Says, you want to wake up? You want to drown? Why? Hasn't he done enough? Hasn't he provided him with answers? Hasn't he opened his heart and let him inside? The chief's pissed. You're keeping him prisoner. Or you're keeping me prisoner is what he says. And he wants Noah to tell him what he wants. Noah has to tell him why he's here and what his purpose is. Because Noah's hiding the truth. He knows whoever's responsible doesn't want him out unless he's broken and pliant. But Noah, as always, says that God wants this. We're doing his work, and he's trying to save him. Chief could have killed him, could have ended it. He owes his life to the chief, and he's repaying the favor. The chief says, if I could go back, I'd do it all over again. Because I'm not a murderer. You don't have to be either. Noah vanishes. Whatever you want from me, I won't say yes. Do you hear me? I won't say yes. Whew. The chief is bringing it back. The chief is leading the tide. Well, the forces of good have kind of gotten their asses kicked tonight. But the chief is starting. Oh, look at this. It's time. Is this the segment or the match? It's the match for the World Championship. Edward Newton versus Proteus. The main event. The main event. Whew. Give you guys a second to get hyped for that. The OSW World Championship on the line. Edward Newton is still undefeated, and he goes one-on-one with a man whose family he killed, Proteus, the former Bruce Van Chan. The last time these two men were in the ring together, as it references there, he was still Bruce Van Chan. He was alive. And Edward Newton was not the deranged individual, outwardly at least, that he is now. Does Proteus end the streak and win the championship tonight? Let's find out. Proteus starts us off, blasting Newton into the corner. The referee has to separate him. Newton hits an axe handle from the top rope. Oh, but Proteus gets a drop kick, sends him back into the ring corner. He goes for the blizzard, but Newton shoves him off. Newton heads to the outside to get his composure back. But Proteus, a shooting star press. It's a 1, a 2, not a 3. Edward Newton's going to need more than that. Newton kicks out at the last minute, clutching at his ribs. Now after the shots from earlier, now that shooting star press. Newton goes for a Russian leg sweep, brings him down, and he goes back to a Boston Crab. Love that move. Proteus seems to be in some pain as he tries to crawl across the ring towards the bottom rope. But as he's about to grab it, Newton pulls him right back to the center. Proteus kips up. The blizzard. Proteus goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Yes, Proteus has done it. He has defeated Edward Newton. But no, Newton's foot was on the ropes. Damn Newton. Referee calls off the end of the match. Proteus starts going after the referee. But Newton from behind with a roll-up. 1, 2. No! Proteus kicks out. Proteus is straight back up. Nails him with a huge German suplex. A headbutt from Proteus. Proteus rips his glasses off and throws him down. Newton tries to cover up, but he can't. Finally, the ref tries to throw the count on Proteus to make him get off. But Newton is fishing in his pocket for something. Proteus walks over and lifts him up, only for Newton to push him back. Newton is smashed with a stinger splash into the ref. Newton smirks, the referee falls down. Brass knucks! Brass knucks to the face of Proteus. Edward Newton strolls right up to him. He threatens a punch before raising a finger and kicking Proteus in the shin. Then he nails the brass-knuckled punch. He catches him before he falls and kicks him right in the groin again. The Nevermind. Proteus has been obliterated. Newton gets the ref up. He goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. No! Proteus has his hand on the ropes. Edward Newton's pissed. He goes for another pin. No! Proteus grabs an inside cradle. 1, 2. Kick out. Newton managed to get out of it, but the Riddler quickly hits a snap suplex. And Newton's eyes have turned solid black. Newton begins kicking the ever-loving hell out of Proteus as he's so enraged. He feels this match should have been over. Newton Proteus gets a sunset flip. Instead of going for the pin, he sweeps the legs and springs off the second rope. Springboard 450, shot through the heart. Signature of Bruce Van Chan. But Proteus falls off of Newton and can't get right to the pin. He puts an arm over him though. 1, 2, 3. No, Newton is kicked out. 2.999 repeating. Both of these guys are spent. What a match. Proteus gets to his feet and looks down at Edward Newton. Can he beat the streak here tonight? Proteus picks up the dead weight of Newton, but Newton rakes his eyes. Proteus staggers backwards as Newton seems to have one little boost left in him. Body slam. Newton heads to the turnbuckles, and he motions this is the end. But no, Proteus goes. Proteus goes for the blizzard, but Newton pushes him down. And as Proteus comes back up, the Nevermind, a jumping implant DDT from the top rope. Newton goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Edward Newton has done it. Edward Newton has managed to defeat yet another foe in Proteus. And his eyes are still a dark black as he holds the title close to his chest. Hell of a match. Hell of a match. Big ups to Edward Newton for one more win. Instead of one more match, it's one more win. But this isn't over. Edward Newton and Proteus get 368 days without accident as a segment. I think 368 days may refer to how long Edward Newton has been on the roster. But look at these stats. 190 days as OSW World Champion. 386 days undefeated. Can anyone defeat this absolute monster of an athlete? We get some lyrics. It's from Lost by Red. The lights of the tap room. Lux Bellator. It's happening. It's time. It's time, motherfuckers. I told you. I told you it was happening. I told you it was happening. I told you the match isn't there yet, but I told you it was happening. It's the invasion. It's time. It's time. Yes. Dean no selling this shit. I knew it. Hayden, I knew you were going to do it, you son of a bitch. Oh. All right. All right. I'm excited to see this for multiple reasons. And you should check out that song if you haven't already. I actually downloaded it, and that Lost by Red is a pretty badass song. All right, here we go. This is it. This is it. Edward Newton versus Lux Bellator for the World Championship. There have been 3 invasions. All 3 have been successful. Will the 4th? Will Lux Bellator join the Scarecrow, Jake Jekyll, and Tommy Hawk in winning the championship? Or will he not? I've seen it, Dean. I'm going to scroll slowly. The match we have been waiting for. The bell sounds. Lux isn't even going to wait. He gets right to it. He stomps a mud hole on Edward Newton. Because one of the biggest components of this war is fighting for the biggest key available, and it doesn't get bigger than that. Lux Bellator has broken Mike Lane, and now he's going to take down Edward Newton. Or try to. Bellator picks him up and nails the front flip pile driver, the disciple maker. That has to be it. Newton has just battled Proteus. This is the finish. Lux makes the cover. 1, 2, 3. No. Newton kicks out. You knew it wasn't going to be that easy. Bellator's pissed. He mounts the champ, punching the crap out of him with right hands. He's opened up Newton. The referee pulls him away. The blood trickles down Newton's face. A crimson mask. Newton hasn't been infected. Whatever's going on with him is not the virus. Or else that wouldn't be red. It wouldn't be crimson. The Light Warrior goes back, pulls him up, grabs him back to the powerbomb position. But he pulls him up into the cross. The Catholic cross. The crucifix powerbomb. Newton is a bloody mess. But Lux picks him back up. He's not going to waste a pinfall. A shoulder barge. A shoulder barge. Another one. But Newton gets a boot up. Desperation. Boot to the face from Edward Newton. Lux stumbles. The tornado DDT from the world champion. He didn't get a huge one, but he got enough. Lux is still the one that gets up first. He goes out and gets the invasion briefcase, bringing it back into the ring. He waits, letting Newton get up. He drives the briefcase into his kneeling skull. And he slams it across his back again. And again, and again, and again, and again. The briefcase is a dented mess. A brief interlude. Do you understand the implications of this match? If Lux wins, he's the OSW champion. He holds the most important key to unlocking the tap room. If he wins, the war is over. It's as good as lost. He tosses the case. Picks up the champ. Edward can't even stand up, but Lux grabs him again. Disciple Maker. A second Disciple Maker. This one on the invasion briefcase. It's over. Goodbye, streak. Farewell, world. He makes the cover. 1, 2, 3. It's over. It's over. Edward Newton has lost. Lux Bellator is the new OSW World Champion. His eyes are lit up like Christmas trees. He's done it. The perfect time to invade, and this was it. Lux Bellator is the new World Champion. He holds the key. But the referee shakes his head. No. What? Newton's foot's on the ropes. It's not over. It isn't over. Bellator's pissed. He hits the ref. He doesn't even know what the hell to do. He grabs a table. He gets barbed wire. He's going to try to kill Newton. He's got a ladder, a chair, a light tube, whatever else. With all that, Bellator's ready. He places the table down, puts the barbed wire on it. He sets the ladder up near the table. Lux, he's going to do it. He's got the light tube. He stalks Newton. The Riddler slowly starts to get up. Don't get up, Newton. Don't do it. Light tube to the head. The glass shatters everywhere. Edward. Blood. Bloody mess. Entirely one-sided. Lux picks him up. He climbs the ladder backwards. He pulls the Riddler up the ladder. The barbed wire table. Disciple Maker. No, Edward Newton holds on. He bites the masked face of Lux Bellator. Newton giving it everything he has. The Light Warrior screams in agony. He hits the Nevermind. The Nevermind off the ladder through the barbed wire table. Oh my God. Lux Bellator and Edward Newton lay mangled in a mess of barbed wire and broken table. How the hell will either man get up from this? Let alone manage a pin. 5 minutes pass before the referee stirs and gets back to his feet. Newton and Lux Bellator have rolled themselves out of the carnage, looking very much so worse for wear. Lux Bellator is busted wide open himself. He has a gash down the length of his stomach from the barbed wire and is holding the wound. Newton has a torn shirt, jacket, and trousers to accompany his crimson mask. They both get back to their feet. Newton meeting Bellator with a knee to the injured midsection before slamming him face first off the steel ladder. He does it again. Do you think you can take my title? Again. Do you think I'll just give up? Again. The question is, he turns Bellator around into a snap suplex. He rolls into the cover. 1, 2, 3, no, kick out. Because Lux Bellator has no interest in giving up either. Newton is exhausted. He goes outside to grab the OSW World Championship. He heads back into the ring, looking to finish this once and for all. Bellator's back up to his feet. And he turns around and gets World Championship to the skull. No, he doesn't. Bellator, he ducks. The kick to the gut. Newton drops the belt. Disciple Maker on the World Championship. 190 days. 368 days. Bellator makes the cover. 1, 2. This has to be it. 3. No. Spelled out. The kick out. Holy shit. Newton kicks out of the Disciple Maker on the title. Holy shit. Edward Newton will not die. Bellator gets back up. Whether it's the darkness or sheer instinct, he won't quit. Lux grabs the ref. He demands that he count the 3. He turns around, but gets a steel chair to the skull. Another. Newton has bent the chair. He jams it into the throat of Lux Bellator, pulls him into the DDT position. The impact DDT, the Nevermind, with the chair driven into Lux's throat. Newton pulls him over for the cover. 1, 2, 3. It's over. Edward Newton retains his OSW World Championship. What a violent match. What a bloody match. Indeed. Edward Newton rolls away in exhaustion as the ref hands him the title. 190 days as OSW World Champion. 368 days undefeated. 42-0. He survived the Ring King winner. He survived the Blood Drive Chamber. He survived the Invasion winner. Who can defeat Edward Newton? Who? Holy shit, man. Mel, you son of a bitch. You won again. I love you, man. That's amazing. Big props. Hayden, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad, Hayden. That was amazing. But there's more. This show ain't over. And look who we get. It's still Lux, but Mike Lane is here. Hope is the name of this segment. Segment by Dean. Over a roaring fire, Mike Lane is here. He's got the Book of the Damned. Newton has got darkness in his eyes. Lane taunts Bellator, says he wanted him to find the Book of the Damned, said it held the key to his salvation. And it does. It does hold the key to his salvation. He places the book down near the fire, taking a deep breath. Because to rid himself of the visions, all it would take is one spell from the book. One spell and he would no longer see or hear her in his dreams. But if he did that, he would become just as corrupted as the rest. If he did that, one of the founding fathers would be a pawn to your game, and that pillar would crumble, and he'd have his way with the tap room. Hope that by taking the book from Edward Newton, it would weaken him. It was all a part of the master plan of Lux Bellator. Lane picks up a knife and slices deep across the palm of his hand. And the blood splashes down into the open fire. And he gives us a little bit of Latin, and the fire rises. More Latin. More flame. More Latin. Mike Lane throws the book into the fire. And he goes to step over the flames as Bellator starts screaming, "No, don't do it." The Shadow takes the blade, closes his eyes, and whispers, "I sacrifice my life so that hope can be set free. That was always my destiny, Lux Bellator. For I am the true warrior of light, and it's only the light that can destroy the darkness." He slits his own throat as Lux Bellator screams with rage inside the ring. As the blood pours in, Mike Lane goes white before a beam of light emanates from within his person, flashing out in a huge burst of energy. The light spreads throughout the arena, removing the infection from within the walls. The darkness recedes, pulling back from all that it has touched. The revenants remain. The infected remain. The virus is too strong to be ripped from them. But inside the ring, light returns to Edward Newton's eyes, banish the darkness from within them. We return to Mike Lane, who lays deceased on the floor, the fire having burned out. His eyes are wide open, and his mouth curled into a smile. The Shadow has sacrificed himself for us, for hope, And that's that. Very well done, Dean. I knew it would be. One of the founding fathers has given his life for hope. That's pretty damn amazing. That was the one of the great interconnecting stories of the last month. Lux wanted the book, so he manipulated this guy to get it. Because if he got it, then he could invade Newton. That failed. Newton overcame, and Michael Lane achieved his destiny. The shadow was the true warrior of light, and he destroyed the darkness. Don't quit, Pat. I'm sure I can find a way to kill off Brent Kirsch at some point. Man, what a damn show. That was amazing. It had everything. And Dean says this is going to be not the best of the next 3 events. I never knew how exactly this was going to happen, but the sacrifice happening at this event, or the death happening at this event, it's been the plan for a minute. When I wrote the 6-man feud for State of Emergency, I even threw in a couple hints that it may have something to do with a sacrifice for one of the founding fathers. Subtly, of course. I try to be subtle. But damn, what a show. Dean, that was amazing. You put it together. Props to all the creative and match writers. This was a hell of a show with a lot of twists. 3 or 4 dead. I didn't really keep count. Who's going to find their way after Newton now? Great question from Dawson. Who's going to go after Newton? Well, I don't have anything else to say. Closing thoughts. Amazing show. I'm glad everyone was able to come out and join us. We've kind of fluctuated between 15 and 20 people all evening, and I'm sure we'll have plenty to discuss over the coming weeks. And if you happen to run across this and you're not on the OSW roster and you actually watch the whole thing, then you can see down in the bottom left-hand corner of the stream my Twitter on the left and the OSW Twitter on the right. If that's your game, you can tweet one of them. I don't really tweet, but I think it'll alert me if it does. We Are OSW should get it as well. On the right-hand side at the bottom of your stream, you have the link to OSW and the link to the eFeder resource site. Feel free to check those out. If you want to join OSW, you can go to that link and get more information. If you don't know anything about what we're doing, then you can do that as well, or tweet one of us and we'll talk it out. Either way, thanks for everybody for joining. OSW has been a dark place. The forces of good got their asses kicked tonight, but the end provided hope. Hope for the forces of good. And that is a major story. It'll be very interesting to see how we go into Pandemonium with hope being restored. So I'll go ahead and sign off. It's been a fun evening. It looks like 2 hours and probably about 17 minutes by the time I get done talking is what we're going to sort out on. So if you had that in the prediction contest, then good work. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down here. Everybody have a great night, day, evening, depending on where you are or when you're watching this. Much love. See you on the flip side.